Yo, what's up guys? This is Wormpal, the coach of the Stavanger Vikingvolts. Today I am bringing you my team builder for week 1 of the GCL season 2. This week we are playing against Frankie 123, coach of Team Mystic, aka the worst Pokemon Go team. And as you can see here, my mammoth squad is called Team Valor, aka the best Pokemon Go team. So I really want to win this match just to prove who the best Pokemon Go team is. You can see Frankie's team over there on the right. His team consists of Landers T, Toxtricity, Tangrowth, Latias, Nihilego, Mega Manectric, Entei, Snorlax, Sharpedo, Hitmontop, Silvally Steel, and Sneasel. And he also drafted the Flyinium C. Very scary team, but the thing that I'm most scared of is by far the Landers T. Landers T is very good with the Flyinium C, gives it access to Sea Fly, and I only have one flying resist on my team, which is the Heatran, and that is 4 times weak to ground, so I really don't have a good switch into his Landers. And maybe you can notice here I actually did not bring Heatran this week, and that is because I think that it does not have the best matchup in this game. A lot of his Pokemon gets ground coverage. For example, the Landorus gets Earthquake, Toxtricity is a water type, Tangrowth gets Earthquake, Nihilego and Mega Manectric might have Hidden Power Ground, Entei gets Stomping Tantrum, Snorlax gets Earthquake, and so on. So that's why I didn't bring Heatran, and I was actually really close to bringing Heatran just to call it Team Valor, because you know it's a fire type, but I decided to name my next reddest Pokemon Team Valor, which is Mamoswine. So yeah, let's just jump into the team. The first Pokemon here is Mamoswine with Assault Vest, Thick Fat, and moves Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, Earthquake, and Knockoff. I think Mamoswine does very well in this match. He really doesn't have any good switch-ins to my Mamoswine. I believe he has 1 ground resist and 2 ground immunities. The resist is Tangrowth and the immunities are Landorus and Latias. And all 3 of those Pokemon are weak to ice, so if they come in I can just hit them with an Icicle Crash or an Ice Shard. And then for the last move I wasn't really sure what I wanted to bring. I was thinking maybe Stealth Rocks, but I really wanted Assault Vest, so I could deal better with things like Latias and Mega Manectric, which are his main special attackers, and also the Nihilego. And since I have Assault Vest I cannot run Stealth Rock, so then I just decided to go with Knockoff instead. The Mamoswine will be my primary switch into his Mega Manectric. It's immune to Electric and with the Thick Fat ability, and the Assault Vest, it can actually take an overhit very well, and I can just threaten the Manectric out with an Earthquake. So yeah, that's why I'm bringing Mamoswine. My next Pokemon is Pantalones, the Scrafty. This set might actually look pretty weird, but I do have an explanation. I was originally going to bring Cofagrigus as my defensive counter to Landorus, but even with max HP and max defense, Cofagrigus might not even live a Supersonic Sky Strike plus an Earthquake from the Landorus, so that's why I instead chose to bring Scrafty as my Landorus switch in. What's so good about Scrafty is it has the Intimidate ability, lowers the attack of the opponent by 1 stage when I switch this in. It has the Cobra Berry, which halves damage from a super effective flying attack. So that in combination with max HP and max defense means that a supersonic sky strike from the Landers will deal about 40 to 50%, and then afterwards I can take a lot of earthquakes as well. For moves I have Ice Punch, High Jump Kick, Knock Off and Rest. Ice Punch is of course to hit the Landers for super effective damage, or 4 times effective. Then I have High Jump Kick and Knock Off for dual stab. And for the last move, again I wasn't really sure what I wanted. I was thinking maybe like Thunder Punch for the Tapu Fini maybe. But Tapu Fini just one-shots me with Moonblast anyway, so I will never stay in against that thing. So I instead decided for Rest. Since I don't have Drain Punch, I thought Rest could give me another option for reliable recovery. And I think even if my Scrafty is asleep, it can still be really useful just for the Intimidate ability. And another reason why I brought Scrafty instead of Cofagrigus was because of the Sharpedo. Sharpedo also does pretty well against my team. It just outspeeds everything, and can, I think, 2-shot everything on my team as well, except for his Scrafty, which is just really shuts down the Sharpedo. So yeah, that's Scrafty. My third Pokemon is Greninja, Ash Ketchup. This I think will be my main win condition in this match. 160, that's something I forgot to mention. On the Mamoswine I have 252 EVs in HP and 32 EVs in defense. That allows me to live a Supersonic Sky Strike from a Jolly Landorus. And I don't think he will run Adamant, because then he won't outspeed, max speed Mamoswine, Rotom, Altaria, and I think Necrozma would also outspeed him then. So that's why I think he will bring Jolly. But yeah, Greninja is my main win condition. It has Life Orb and the Protein ability. For moves it has Ice Beam, Gunk Shot, Hydro Pump and Low Kick. And he really doesn't have a lot of good switchings to my Greninja. He can one-shot or almost one-shot everything on his team. I think I one-shot Landorus with Ice Beam, almost kill Tapu Fini with Gunk Shot, almost kill Tangrowth with Gunk Shot, almost kill Latias with Ice Beam, almost kill Nihilego with Hydro Pump, almost kill Mega Manectric with Hydro Pump, almost kill Snorlax with Low Kick, and the Entei I believe dies to Hydro Pump. So yeah, by almost kill I mean like 85%. So that's why I think Stealth Rocks will also be important in this match, just to get that little bit of chimp damage on his team. So yeah, I put 160 EVs in speed with a Naive Nature to outspeed max speed Latias, and then I just put 252 EVs in special attack and rest in attack, just to hit as hard as possible. My fourth Pokemon is the Darkness, the Necrozma. Since I couldn't have Stealth Rocks on Mamoswine because of the Assault Vest, and I'm not bringing Heatran, I decided that Necrozma would have to be my Stealth Rocker. It has leftovers and moves Stealth Rock, Photon Geyser, Moonlight and Signal Beam. Stealth Rock and Moonlight are pretty obvious, just for reliable recovery and setup rocks, as I already explained why I think it's important. Photon Geyser hits his team pretty hard, even though I don't run a lot of special attack investment, it still hits really hard. And then Then I have Signal Beam, which is a bug type move. I have this just to hit stuff like Latias and his dark types, Sharpedo and Sneasel harder. For EVs, I put 48 EVs in special attack, so I believe I can one-shot the Sharpedo with Signal Beam. And then I just put 252 EVs in HP, and the rest I split pretty equally between defense and special defense. My fifth Pokemon is maybe the craziest set I'm bringing this week. That is Fluffles, the Mega Altaria. Moves Roost, Heal Bell, Hyper Voice, and Earthquake. You may notice I'm bringing a mixed set with Hyper Voice as a special move and Earthquake as a physical move. And the first thing I considered when looking at Altaria was a Dragon Dancing set, but I decided not to bring that because he has 3 Intimidators on his team, being the Landorus, the Mega Manectric, and the Hitmontop. So if I was going to sweep with Mega Altaria, I would need like 3 or 4 Dragon Dances up, and that I don't imagine happening. That's why I have Hyper Voice instead of Return, so I can hit his Intimidators harder. And then I have Earthquake to hit his Pokemon that resist my Hyper Voice, mainly the Entei, and I believe the Silvally Steel, which I really don't think he's gonna bring, but still. For EVs, I put 36 in attack, so I think I can 2-shot uninvested Entei with Earthquake, and 48 EVs in special attack, so I can 2-shot uninvested Landorus with Hyper Voice. For the last 2 moves, I chose Roost and Heal Bell. Roost is of course to have some reliable recovery, keep my Altaria alive, and Heal Bell can be useful to like heal off a toxic from my Altaria or my Necrozma or anything that gets toxic, and also it's good to wake up my Scrafty after I have used rest. And then I just put the rest of the EVs in HP and defense. I wanted to bring a special wall because, you know, I'll already have Scrafty as my physical wall, but I think Mega Altaria already deals pretty well with his special attackers, like the Mega Manectric and the Latias. Altarius, which is pretty well in against both of those. So yeah, that's Mega Altaria, and my last Pokemon is Rotom Oregano, I called him. This is pretty straightforward set: Leaf Storm, Volt Switch, Toxic's Pain Split with the Gracium C. I of course have Leaf Storm and Volt Switch because both of those are stab moves. Gracium C with a Leaf Storm does one-shot the Landorus T, which maybe I can bait in with like Volt Switch. I don't know what I can say about the set. I have Toxic to not get walled by like Snorlax and Latias and stuff like that. And then last move I just put on Pain Split, just to get some recovery. And then for EVs I just put everything in HP and special attack with Modest Nature. So yeah, that's the team we're bringing this week. I think we can do pretty well with it. The 6 Pokemon I think he will bring, I think 100% he's going to bring the Landorus and the Tapu Fini. Landorus because it's just a really big threat to my entire team, and Tapu Fini because it's a really good wall to a lot of my Pokemon, like the Mamoswine and the Scrafty, for example, and maybe the Altaria as well. I also really think he will bring the Mega Manectric, because that is the only Pokemon that can outspeed my Greninja. I think he will bring the Latias, the Nicolego, and for the last Pokemon, I can't really decide if I think he's gonna bring Sharpedo or Snorlax, but one of those. Or the Tangrowth might also come, but I don't think he will bring any of his NU Pokemon or the Entei. Yeah, that's the team. That's it for the team builder. I am playing Frankie in about like 20 minutes. So yeah, I'll see you in that video. Goodbye.